everybody. Today we're going to be doing Eyes Like an Angel. This is the B-side of My Own Way by Duran Duran. I hope everybody's doing well on this Saturday, December the 3rd. It's about 3 p.m. Had a little rain last night, but everything's dried up now. Hope everybody's having a fabulous Saturday. See you soon. Alright everyone, let's do a quick run through of the bass, then I'll have a little bonus content at the end. Alright, so this song is a lot of B. Now the verses are pretty much variations of doing that, then embellishing at the end. There are quite a bit of variations. The one that he seems to do the most is this one. And yes, the notes are a bit ambiguous. I even slowed them down, but best I could come up with is something like this. So you do a ghost note there on the E, and then you do a quick F sharp to G. So these notes here. Sometimes it sounds like he just goes. So just a bunch of F sharps. But don't worry about that too much. As long as you get that rolling motion going, the ghost note's kind of pumping it along. You could do pretty much, anything you want there. All right. Every time the vocal comes in, there's this variation. And what's interesting to me about that is if you listen to the demo version, I believe it's the Manchester Square demo version, they do that, or John does that, way more often than he does in this one. So I'm guessing the line got developed and he started doing something else, but then he went back to that riff. So at the top of every verse, he's going to do that. And at the second verse, there's a cool thing where he goes like this. So there's an octave from G to G sharp there. Okay, now one thing you'll do when Simon is not singing is go like this at the end of those phrases. Now when he is singing, you give him some space and you just kind of do this. And that's a really cool line because it's just a bunch of E's. The E octaves. So usually when it does that, it goes into a chorus like this. So that's the chorus. You start on F sharp, then you go to B, then you go to D, back to the F sharp. But the last time you do that, there's a little run up instead of just doing the dee-doo, dee-doo. I just got used to fingering it that way, but you probably want to finger it this way, at least the last time. Because the last time you're going to go down to that F sharp. So if you're doing it over here like I was, you're going to have to move really quick like this. It's not impossible, but it's a little easier if you go. Let's go to the bass break. A really cool bass break. You're going to end there basically. And then there's kind of a obscure sort of run up there. I'm doing it B to C sharp, so. Then the bridge is really easy. It's just D to B. And then you're going to do a slide up, kind of a hammer-on, but I'll call it a slide up from the 4th to the 5th, G to A. And you're going to do the same pattern on the B. So. And then you're going to go to G there. And then there's this cool fill you can do here where he goes. Okay, then the last time, since you're going to go back to a B, you're not going to do that entire fill. You're just going to do a kind of variation like this. And then that last chorus, you kind of kick it up a bit. You step on the gas, right? Do a lot more ghost notes, and you just really try to pump it up there. So. And there's another variation there because I don't hear him going. I just kind of hear him going. And then here you do your run-ups. After that, there is a bit of an extended fill here where he goes. There's a chromatic F natural up to the F sharp. Into the chorus. And it's all pretty standard except that the third to the last time, actually, let me make that super clear. You're going to do an entire chorus, then you're going to do 2 more revolutions of that same chorus pattern, then you're going to do 2 low revolutions of the pattern, you'll see what I mean, and then you're going to fade out on the regular pattern. So, same exact notes, but instead of going, you're going to go. Again. Then back to the regular. Pretty much just fades out. Okay, I hope you could see what I was playing and that I was clear enough. And now we're going to take a look at the harmonic structure of the song. I'm going to go to the piano. I'll be back. Okay, everybody, I'm going to attempt to show you how harmonically rich this song is. I'll try to keep this concise, but there's a lot to go through. I'm not saying that around the time this was recorded, let's say that was 1980, 81, something like that, that the guys were completely aware of all the theory behind what was actually happening. I don't know, maybe Andy did know this level of theory, but anyhow, it's pretty amazing what they accomplished just using their ears and playing what sounded good. The first thing that shocked me about this song was that I just assumed, okay, it's a kind of moody, minor sounding song, so it must be in B minor. It's not. Very first chord, right off the bat, we have that major third. And if you listen to the synth in particular, it's actually going back and forth between B major and A minor. However, we have John pedaling on the B. And if you notice, in the chord of A minor, we have a C. So we have a second, a minor second there. Now, it does sound pretty awesome, right? And the guitar is doing something pretty cool, like this, something like this. All right. Simon's vocal line is going right along with that, and what you'll soon discover is that the whole band is sort of riffing off a scale that I discovered to be called the Phrygian dominant scale.
Things that you used to say now take on different meanings, you realize.
I'm reading off the Wikipedia now. It is the 5th mode of the harmonic minor scale, also called the Persian scale, altered Phrygian scale, or dominant flat 2, flat 6. Okay, I won't go on and on. And basically the notes would be. So it's really unusual for the third note of a scale to be 3 half steps away from the first note. So we start here, we go a half step up, and then we go 3 half steps up here, and then we keep going up like that. So it's this part that makes it sound mysterious, right? And they take full advantage of that right in the beginning, right? Pretty awesome, right? Now, obviously, the bass is just pedaling there. just like I showed in the bass part. Now, we've heard John say this before, where he said something like, you know, producers are always telling him, you can't play that note, it's not even in the scale. Now, this is a prime example of him doing that. Let's go over to the chorus. So the chorus is F minor, back to the B, then D major, back to the F minor. So what he's doing on the bass is he's doing this dee-doo kind of thing here. Back to the B here. Now here, the D major on top, but he's going to F minor on the dee-doo notes. Listen. Then back to the F minor. So that's really unusual because he's doing that sort of bluesy note that you might normally do with the fifth, but he's doing it here on the D, but he's hanging, so it's really dissonant. If you were truly to play, let's say a D major chord, I'm going to invert it here, but I mean it's very dissonant, but in context it somehow works. So the whole chorus would go like this. Crazy, right? The entire song is built upon this dissonance. Here, B major, we're going up here to A minor, but we're keeping those B's that just sound so beautiful. And then, of course, in the chorus, where John is encountering that D, he's just going for the minor. He just doesn't give you know what. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that little jaunt into some harmonic fun. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye. It is no longer Saturday. I could not leave well enough alone. I had to figure out what that scale was all about. Here we go. All right, everybody. It's time for a quick happy rant. One of the problems with being excited about what you're doing, being excited about music, is that it can keep you up. I was up all night thinking about what I'm about to show you guys right now. So that scale that I showed you, I kept thinking, you know, sounds awfully familiar. And in order to explain it, to explain what I figured out as I was sitting there trying to go to sleep, we have to talk about modes. I'll make this as brief as possible. Let's start in G. Whoops, that's Mixolydian. I'm already getting ahead of myself. Let's just do a regular old G. Okay, so when we're talking about modes, that's your first mode, Ionian. It just basically means major. Scale would just be basic major scale. Now, the next mode up would be Dorian. So you're playing the same exact notes. You're just starting on the second A here. Okay, so that's Ionian. Now the next one's Phrygian, same thing. You're just starting here. Next one's Lydian. So you're going to have that raised fourth. And then from Lydian, it's Mixolydian, so it's basically dominant seventh. But it's the same notes. That's what you have to keep in mind. It's all white notes except for the F sharp, because that's the way the G major scale goes. Now, importantly, we have this one. I went a little further up. But anyway, that's Aeolian. And Aeolian is the same exact thing as your related minor scale. So every major has a related minor. So for G major, the related minor is E minor. Okay, so Aeolian mode is nothing more than the natural minor. There's one up after that, and that would be Locrian. So again, in G, it would be... And then we're back to Ionian. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. The reason I started in G is because the related minor is E minor. Now, without getting too far into it, there are 3 types of minors, okay? You have just that regular minor. Then you have what's called the harmonic minor, which raises that 7th. I think I missed a note there, didn't I? Here we go. There's also one called the melodic minor, which is basically the same thing as what I just showed you, but on the way down you do the natural one, so you go. But let's focus on that harmonic minor. When I thought of that, it all clicked. It made sense because the scale that the verses apply, the scale is nothing more than that same minor scale. However, we're starting it on the 5th, so we're starting here. So instead of going, we're just starting it there on the 5th. So it's, and that's it. That's what a Phrygian dominant is. I'm guessing that they call it Phrygian because it all relates back to the G. And so in modes, you'd have Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian. Now, I'm not sure of that. That's just my quick little theory. But another thing I wanted to point out was this constant chromatic movement. I've been focusing on that chord or that scale, but in actuality, it's because of Andy's licks. Here, let me show you. So if Andy's going, he's implying that that should be a D natural. Well, it's more than implying. He's actually playing it. So the sequence, as I showed you earlier, is, but we're going to imply that D in there, so we can do something like this. So there's a constant revolution between. And then they let us off the hook by going to the E major, which has a G sharp in it. And then we go down to a G natural with a. So there you go. That's what I wanted to show you.